Anyone can buy the latest adventure bike from BMW or Triumph or Ducati and ride it over 1,000 kilometres to the middle of nowhere for a fundraiser. But the real challenge is buying a bike and getting it running for under $1,000.
My name's Perry and I've been riding for 50 years. We're looking after a horse stud for my uncle, and he bought us, our family, a mini bike, a little Kawasaki MT75. So that was the first experience of two wheels, and we're on 25 acres. We had a great time, you know, cruising around. I've made a few mistakes, I only ever make them once. So. But I've got basically two R80 GS Paris Dakars. A lot of these are projects though. An R80 GS, a 1980 model, the first ones in the country, an R100 LT. I've got a 90/6 that I'm building up, and I have enough parts to build probably another two. I've also got a burnt R80 mono that a friend was stolen and burnt out, and I want to rebuild that because I can. So that's the airhead side of the garage. And then on the other side of the garage, I've got the CB404 75 model that I put a 460 Yoshi kit in, XR 250 front end, some piggyback Olins I got off a Husky out of the States, extended the swing arm, and that's my first scrap heap bike, was the 404. Working on anything mechanical is a process, and if you have a function, there's some people that aren't talented that way, so, and there's those that are. So I think my father being a farmer and would have a go at anything, you just have a go and follow the steps and do that. And sometimes I'm the patron saint of lost causes. I've rebuilt bikes that aren't really worth rebuilding because it's a process of just bringing something back from the dead. But also you can work on them and maintain them yourself, which is really good. And you get to know a lot more about the bike. So when something's not right, you go, hang on, that's not right. You know, you can go fix it and do that. Where a lot of the modern bikes today, if there's a problem, it gets towed to the workshop. Where the older bikes, and the old airheads especially, you can fix them on the side of the road. So. Scrap Heap Adventure Ride started on a internet forum called Adventure Rider, and one of my mates, Bill, and I were chatting on there and saying we need to do something silly like get an old bike and ride somewhere. And then my oldest daughter, Grace, was born with Down syndrome. So we got a lot of support from the Down Syndrome Association in New South Wales and the Down syndrome community in general. And so we thought we could do that and raise funds for Down syndrome. So we were going to start with a bike under $500, and we thought we'd better make it $1,000. We basically ride to a place that's suitable. We arrive basically on the Friday, we have a casual night, there's nothing organised, just say good day to everyone, it's a really social evening. Saturday we have breakfast, and then there's a loop ride or down do your own thing and bless the local community. We go into towns, we don't want them to pay to giving it to us, we want to bless them because we do our fundraising and everything outside of that. So then Saturday night we have like a formal dinner, we have awards and a big auction. And then breakfast Sunday morning and everyone just rides home. So the first scrap heap was to Winnering, and had about 14 bikes there and support people as well. And we raised $22,000, so that was a big event. So everyone says, where are we going next, Pez? I went, oh, geez, okay, well, let's do something really, so let's go to Cameron Corner. So then we went to Cameron Corner and we got probably about 40 riders, and we raised over $50,000. It's like, okay, where are we going next? We've got a great group of guys, and a lot of the people that come on Scrap Heap keep coming every year. So we're just growing through that, and it's huge. It's just growing, and the people are just beautiful. It's really great to be a part of that community, you know. This year we're heading to Woodenbong, which is about 10 kilometres from the Queensland border. So there's sort of 300k days, and we have stops planned, and so far we've raised about $950,000 for the community. We're hoping to crack $1 million, so we'd like to try, our goal is to raise $100,000 an event. Our main priority is raising awareness, and when we do that, people are generous. Like, our society is really generous, you know, and we've been really blessed by that over the years, so we're hoping to crack the $1 million this year, which would be huge for everyone. So. At the moment, the RV125, which is behind me, is up on there. I rode it to Green Valley Farm a couple of years ago. It had a P175 motor in it. It was very loud. It blew the expansion chamber apart, so that was the end of that on the second day. So I've now got a DR200 motor going into that. It's got a GPZ 900 front wheel with mechanical anti-dive brakes that I've designed for that. On the back it's got a 23-inch quad tyre on a quad rim, which I had the centre modified to go onto the RV hub. It's got a TF185 Suzuki seat. It's got a Virago rear guard because the quad tyres are very wide. It's got a Honda XL500S Paris-Dakar fuel tank. It's got a KTM rear guard as a fairing on the front, which is one of my signatures, is on the 404 that I built up as well. So that's my current build. I don't think anything is stock on that bike now. I think maybe the front rim is about the only thing that's stock. Everything's been tweaked and modified and put together. So. My favourite bike's my R80GS Paris-Dakar. I bought it to do a ride to the off-centre rally, and I bought this one in pretty second-hand condition out of Canberra and then just rebuilt it from scratch. Put a 70 horsepower R100 RS motor in it. It's got HPN gears, which are lower and taller in the gearbox, a taller final drive, Öhlins on the back, gold valves on the front, and it is just, my cheeks hurt riding it. It's just, you know, it's just one of those bikes you just ride. You can do 70 up the road and be happy. You can do 100 up the road and be happy. It's just, yeah, it's my never sell bike. I did sell it once, but I'll never sell it again. I don't have music or phones or anything in my helmet. I love just the open space and the thought processes. I think you're more in the environment on a motorcycle than you are in a car. And I think Percy said it's like watching television when you're in a car, or in a bike you're in your environment and you can smell the river you cross over. You can smell the crops, you can smell the ploughed soil, and it's very real. It's very, very, very real. So.
If you'd like to get involved in the Scrap Heap Adventure Ride, we'll put a link in the description. Now, you may have noticed that Perry is an amputee, but being the genuinely humble and amazing bloke that he is, he didn't want this video to be about that. He really wanted to make it about the Scrap Heap Adventure Ride and the Down syndrome community. But we had such amazing content from Perry, so we decided to edit a second video about his story on what it's like riding as an amputee. Click this video on top to watch that one, and also check out this playlist of other bike builders and restorers. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can ride a motorcycle, and that's kind of the same thing.